Hi, good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us for today's edition of Questions from the Courtyard, our upper school edition. For those of you who are joining us from outside of the Twin Cities area, it is currently 34 degrees and there is snow on the ground, so I am not joining you directly from our courtyard. I have chosen to be inside today in our office, but we are so glad you could join us. I am your host for today's event. My name is Adriana Matsky, Associate Director of Admissions, working with families exploring Blake grades 6 through 12. This is my 19th year at the Blake School. My husband and I have two boys. Our oldest son graduated from Blake in 2016. He just recently graduated from UW-Madison and has become a first-year teacher, teaching 27 kindergartners online this year. Our youngest son is a junior here at the Blake School. That is a little bit about me. I'm going to ask some of our panelists and my colleague to introduce themselves to you as well, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Falsani. I am part of Blake's admissions team focused on outreach and digital content. We're so excited you guys are here, and I'm going to turn it over to some of our student guests.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm a junior. I'm part of the admissions club. I joined Blake in 9th grade and I moved here from Australia. So I was really new to the US and Minnesota.
Hi, my name is Eva Stegich. I'm in the 10th grade at sophomore at Blake, and I also joined in 9th grade, and I'm on the admissions team as well, and I really like Blake a lot. It's been a great experience so far.
Hi, my name is Annika. This is my 10th grade year. I came to Blake this past year, which was my 9th grade year. I'm on the admissions team, and I came here from Poughkeepsie Day School in New York.
Thank you so much for introducing yourselves. Again, we'll have a chance to hear from our student panelists again at the end of our program. So a little bit about today, we're going to go through a few slides, giving you a broad overview of Blake pre-K through 12. Then you're going to have an opportunity to watch an upper school specific video, just a couple minutes long, and then we will turn it over to our student panelists. This will be opportunity for all of you to ask your questions to our students. You can use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen to pose your questions. And then at the end, we'll wrap up with some next steps. So let's go ahead and get started. Blake is a 3-campus school. It is over 100 years old, but in its current form, it is the result of a merger that happened in the early 70s. So this picture here is of our upper school campus. This previously was the Northrop School for Girls. We have our Hopkins campus, which is where we have our one middle school, grades 6 through 8. We have a lower school, pre-K through 5, who are each division is sort of in their own separate space, but they do have some shared spaces. Where that campus is in Hopkins was the Blake School for Boys. And then we have a third campus in Wayzata, which is a little west from here. That is another lower school pre-K through 5. The benefits of our 3-campus model are plenty. Our campuses share a common curriculum, mission, and set of values, but it offers students 3 different settings in which to grow and learn. It also lends itself to a true time of transition for students who are with us from pre-K through 12. They are able to transition from lower school to middle school, from middle school to upper school, and it also lends itself to a bit of a smoother transition for new students. When new students join us in 9th grade, we have about 25 new students who come together and join our rising class of 8th graders. But again, it's a new campus, a new experience for all of our students. Total enrollment for Blake is around 1,350 students across the 3 campuses in 14 grades. And this allows for smaller communities within that larger community of 1,350 students. Again, this is a picture of our upper school campus, grades 9 through 12. This is a picture of our Hopkins campus. Again, this campus houses One of our lower schools, pre-K through 5, are one middle school, 6th grade to 8th grade. This campus also houses our athletics facilities. So our upper school students who participate in athletics, the majority of them head over to our Hopkins campus after school for their athletic activities. We also have some of our larger art facilities here. So our Performing Arts Center is also at this campus. And then here is a picture of the front of our Wayzata campus. Again, for those of you who are not familiar with the Twin Cities, it is a little bit west. Our upper school is right on the outskirts of Minneapolis. Hopkins campus is a few miles west from here, and then our Wayzata campus is a few miles farther west. We do offer transportation between the 3 campuses, including shuttle buses that run all of our upper schoolers over to Hopkins if they need to for either transportation purposes or again for athletics. So let's talk briefly about the classroom experience at Blake. The strength of our program is no doubt comes from our excellent faculty. When we have an open position, we're able to do global searches to make sure that we are able to find the best fit faculty for each of our positions. 75% of our faculty members have an advanced degree, which means a master's or a doctorate. Pre-K through 12, we have very small and intentional class sizes. In lower school, our class size is around 18, and in middle school and upper school, our average class size is around 16. We tend to cap it off right around 18. In the upper school specifically, you can have a bit of a wider variety of class sizes. I know for my son in his sophomore science class, he actually had 9 kids in his classroom. So it can sort of run the spectrum, but 16 is about average, 18 is our cap. Faculty love to teach here at Blake. They know that when they come to school every day that they're going to be engaging and teaching curious students who come to school excited to learn every day and who have supportive families who want to partner with the school to make sure that their students are challenged and stretched appropriately and when needed. At the core of Blake is our commitment to pluralism. This shows itself in lots of different ways. These are a couple of our data points that help paint the picture of our diverse community. So over 50+ languages are spoken in the homes of Blake families. 24% of our students do receive need-based financial assistance. Blake does have the largest financial assistance budget in the Twin Cities, awarding over $8 million for tuition assistance in the current school year. 36% of our students identify as people of color, and our cities and towns, our students are coming from over 61 cities and towns in the Twin Cities area. Blake's commitment to pluralism takes it beyond just having a diverse community. So at Blake, we define a commitment to pluralism as really engaging across those differences and taking time to learn from one another and learn about each other's experiences. As part of this work, we have what is called the Office of Equity and Community Engagement. We have Tainita, who is our director of that department. That department oversees some of our service work. So Lisa, who reports under that department, she is our pre-K through 12 service learning chair. So she oversees and partners with students at all of our divisions for their community service partnerships. We also have affinity group spaces in all of our divisions for students and for families. And this year we have a new opportunity called Equity Lab that is being rolled out from that department. So learning opportunities for both students and for families to really, again, engage across differences and learn from one another. And lastly, within that department, we also have a pre-K through 12 director of equity instruction. So Laura is that person here at Blake, and she works individually with teachers to make sure that their lessons and curriculum are intentionally diverse and representative of lots of different experiences, voices, and community members. Educating students to succeed in a globally interconnected world is part of Blake's mission statement. So as I mentioned, our community service work, we do partner with over 40 local community organizations. In the upper school, one of our leadership opportunities is our community service board. In addition to preparing kids, not just for college, but for life, to be global citizens in the world after college, we do offer 3 credit-bearing global immersion programs each year. And so what that means is students at Blake have the option to travel around the world, earn high school credit for those experiences, but again, with some real intentionality behind that. So students have the opportunity to learn prior to their in-country experience. Then of course they travel and are in country for anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of weeks. And then when they return, students have opportunity to reflect and then do community presentations and again, receive some high school credit for that opportunity. We also are one of the only schools in the Twin Cities who is a member of what is called Global Online Academy. So students have the opportunity to take a class through Global Online Academy, which means that they are in a virtual classroom with students from around the world and taught by teachers from around the world. And before I go, I just want to mention, before I go on to the next screen, I didn't mention some of the places that our students have gone over the past few years. We have sent students to Rwanda, Vietnam, Cuba, and then we did have a non-credit opportunity last year where we sent students to the US-Mexico border. So again, just one way that our commitment to pluralism and preparing students to be global citizens lives out in our community. Arts and athletics are essential to the experience here at Upper School. In the Upper School, as far as athletics are, we do not offer a PE class as part of their regular school day. However, we do have an athletic requirement. In 9th grade and 10th grade, all students are required to participate in some athletic endeavor here at Blake. Of course, if a student participates in something that we do not offer, such as gymnastics or karate, you are able to get that athletic requirement met. But we do encourage and want our students to participate in athletics here at Blake. Because of that, we also have students who are participating in athletics who maybe are not high intensity, high level athletes. We are a no-cut school, so students are able to participate in whatever athletic opportunity they are interested in. We offer a wide spectrum of opportunities from synchronized swimming to figure skating to hockey and basketball and football. So we have a wide spectrum of opportunities. I believe we also added yoga a couple years ago as well. Arts are also essential to our experience. Of course, there's art electives that are part of the regular school day, but we do additional productions throughout the year that have sort of an after-school co-curricular type commitment. Across the school, we have 45 concerts and drama productions within a given school year. Lots of families, of course, looking at upper school and high school options have questions about the college admissions process. So our college counseling department is nationally recognized. The motto of our college counseling department is that college is a match to be made, not a prize to be won. So they work really intentionally and closely with students and families to make sure that they have opportunity to explore lots of colleges that they may not have thought of. They make sure that students are applying to schools that are the right fit and in some cases colleges that are also a stretch for them. But again, working with students and families to make sure that it's about fit and not just about name. They offer opportunities for parents and students to have some more broad education opportunities about the college admissions process. They'll have affordability evenings and athletics evenings. Sophomore and junior year, students have the opportunity to participate in college seminar during their school days. So sophomore year, that is just starting to learn about the college admissions process. junior year, the fall of your junior year college seminar is really test prep. So students in their junior year who are taking college seminar right now are prepping to take the ACT or SAT later this winter. The second half of your junior year, students are assigned a specific college counselor who then will work with them throughout the rest of their process. In addition, our college counseling department also has staff who are designated to work with students for their essay writing. So another awesome piece of our college admissions department. And then throughout the year, they bring in over 100 different college reps. So of course, before COVID, we were bringing in reps here to campus, and juniors and seniors had opportunity to sign out or go meet with them during their free blocks. This year, they've just coordinated those visits through Zoom. But again, they're bringing in over 100 college reps throughout the year to have opportunity for our students to be able to meet with them here in our space versus having to travel. Before we kick off to the video, we have this fun photo that we think is a nice way to display sort of the wide variety of colleges that our students head to when they graduate. This is a picture of our class of 2019. So again, I'm gonna advance the screen now. You'll watch a video of our upper school, and then we will come back together where you all will have opportunity to ask our 3 student panelists your questions about life at Blake.
Welcome to Blake, an independent co-ed day school for students in pre-kindergarten through grade 12. We'd like to show you our upper school, which serves students in grades 9 through 12. Located in Minneapolis, our upper school is home to a vibrant community of teachers and students who engage in thoughtful discussions and meaningful activities that broaden their understanding of each other and the world. Blake's upper school is small, about 135 students in each grade, so every student is well known and individually encouraged to do their best. Blake students receive academic instruction that challenges them and comprehensive support to help them thrive. Blake also provides multiple avenues for creative expression, athletic achievement, leadership development, off-campus study, and global immersion experiences.
Our campus is the site of a warm, energetic community of students and adults. Twice a week, all school assemblies feature senior speeches, student presentations, community announcements, and guest speakers. Student lounge spaces are where students socialize, do homework, prepare for class, or just simply relax. Another way we build community is through our advisory and grade dean system. Each grade has a dean whose primary focus is to know and understand the needs of that grade and the individual students in that grade. Advisories in the upper school stays the same the entire 4 years with the same students and the same advisor. As a new student to Blake, I was understandably pretty nervous to be on my high school experience with a bunch of people I didn't know. Fortunately for me, my advisor was very welcoming and inclusive to me and really helped me find my way in my first few weeks at Blake.
Blake offers a comprehensive college counseling program, which begins sophomore year. In junior year, students have the option to do test prep during the school day. Midway through the junior year, students are assigned a specific college counselor who helps guide them and their family through the search and application process. The college counseling team helps students have a choice among many colleges that would be a good fit for their interests and needs. Blake's motto is, college is a match to be made, not a prize to be won. At Blake, we see all students as emerging artists. Upper school students take at least 4 semester-long art courses and may choose from 14 different electives in visual arts, theater, debate, and music. Some choose to pursue a single subject in depth, while others sample the breadth of courses offered.
Blake Athletics helps students live up to their full potential. All upper school students play on a team for at least 1 season in grade 9 and grade 10. Student athletes are able to gain confidence, strengthen leadership skills, and work as a team. Blake has a no-cut policy, so students are able to participate in the sport of their choice. I personally have played tennis and lacrosse for Blake and have had so much fun over the years. The best part of it is that you get to be with a group of people with a common interest, and you get to have fun while doing it with people from multiple grades. As an upper school student, it's so nice to get to know people in the middle school while also connecting with upperclassmen. Blake's academically rich program offers lots of choice, more than 30 different art classes, 18 social studies electives, to name a few. Required courses challenge students to think critically and creatively, and electives offer opportunities to explore specialized topics in depth. Advanced placement courses are all offered in core subjects.
Upper school students take advantage of the Math Learning Center. The space in the math wing is staffed the entire day by math faculty so students can get help and strengthen their skills during study hall or free time. The upper school campus ensures that our oldest students have educational facilities designed for their needs and interests, with proximity to the Culture and Business Center of Minneapolis.
Our mission is to engage students with a dynamic, academically challenging education in a diverse and supportive school community committed to pluralism and a common set of values. Students at Blake pursue an integrated program of academic, artistic, and athletic activities, preparing for college, lifelong learning, and purposeful lives as community and global citizens. We welcome your interest in Blake and are happy to set up a personal tour. Learn more at blakeschool.org/admissions.
All right. Thank you so much again. And at this point, we will remind you that we're going to open it up for your questions of our student panelists. You can use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom window. While we wait for questions to start to come in, I'm going to ask the student panelists to sort of go around. If you could just restate your name again and maybe just share with the group some of the ways that you are involved in Blake, whether it be athletics or co-curriculars, leadership opportunities, just to help sort of give them a little bit more perspective of your own personal experience here at Blake.
Hi, I'm Zoe. Some of the clubs I'm in are CSB, the Community Service Board that was previously mentioned. A couple of weeks ago, I volunteered at Every Meal, and we package foods that go out to students and their families. That was a really fun experience that I did with other members of the Blake community. Another club I'm in is robotics, which we build robots for the season. This year, since it's all online, we've been learning how to CAD, which is a way to show and map a build that you are wanting to make. I'm also in ASL club, which my friend actually started, and I've been learning ASL. I'll pass it on to Ava.
Hi, I'm Eva, and right now I'm at home, so I'm not really participating physically with many groups. But what I did last year is I joined the ceramics group, and we did a bunch of hands-on activities early in the morning, and it was really quite fun. And then I also do volleyball, but this year I'm not doing it, but last year I did, and it was a lot of fun. So sports are a great way to integrate into the community, I think. Annika?
Hi, my name is Annika. So far in my high school career at Blake, I've taken part in the Latinx Hispanic Club, in theater club, and this year I joined the Flash Literary Magazine club, which has been really fun so far. And yeah.
Thank you. I have a student or a question here from a student who is zooming in. They're asking about the free blocks. Does anybody want to try to explain the schedule, how it works, and maybe just give a little bit more of a in-depth detail of like advisory in addition to free blocks and maybe even assembly? And think
Sure,
about
I can do that.
last year, kind of before COVID, how the schedule works.
Okay, so we get one free block per semester, but only sophomores and juniors get free blocks. Freshmen have study hall, which is a similar situation. But basically, during a free block, you can plan out what you do, and it's just free time to do homework or read a book or do whatever you want, essentially. Advisory, this year we have advisory 2 times a week. And during the first advisory, we have assembly. where senior speeches are given on a variety of interesting topics. And during assembly, it's just time to hang out with our peers and our advisor. Today, actually, in advisory, we decorated pumpkins, which was really fun. But typically, in a non-COVID year, we would play games, just chat and other stuff like that. And then Miss Falsani said, will you address the yoga question? So I did yoga last year, and male students do take yoga. This year, my brother is actually wanting to do yoga. So yeah.
Thank you. Do Eva or Annika, do you have anything you want to add to the advisory free block sort of explanation?
Sure. Oh.
You can go, Annika, it's fine.
Oh, okay. So we have one task and one tutorial each week, as well as a free block that you have in your schedule. And all the times are times you can go talk with teachers, you can have group study sessions with your friends, and really they're all good times to get work done during the school day. So you don't have to do as much after school, so you can participate in more extracurricular activities.
So I do have a question here, and you just sort of talked about it, Annika, right in that answer there. Somebody is wondering about office hours for teachers when students need extra help. So Eva, maybe if you want to talk a little bit about how students go about getting help when they need it in any of their classes, either through the math lab or through free blocks tutorial, just sort of what you know works well for students.
So for me personally, I like to use the task and tutorial times to meet with my teacher, but I do know it's very nice. It's I know it could be different for some people coming into Blake as a new student, but the teachers actually, my teachers last year, they made me meet with them, and I was kind of worried about it at first, but they are really nice, and they just want to make sure that you're doing well and that you're like doing everything right. And if they have questions for you or you have questions for them, they'll always be happy to answer them. And I think just task and tutorial is a good time. And even if you need to come in before school or after school, you could probably set up a meeting time.
Zoe or Annika, do you have anything to add to the whole connecting with teachers with help?
Just for the part about describing how students interact with teachers, typically at the end of the day, I just like to chat with my teachers to see how they're doing, because I know that teaching can also be a stressful job. And generally, teachers are super nice, and yeah, that's all.
I can add on to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Especially this year, I've been a remote student so far all this year, and the teachers have a very stressful job of maintaining a new schedule in this COVID year. So something that I was really happy to see was that the teachers were so dedicated to making sure that I was fully participating and fully being able to feel like a part of the classroom, even if I am on a Zoom call and not physically there.
That's great. Thank you for adding that. We do have a question here. I will take this one. They're asking about sort of the age range or cutoff dates for grades. So typically that falls more towards our youngest students, where we do have specific, like you have to be this age by this date to start our pre-K program. But by the time students and families are looking for upper school, obviously for many cases, it's already been, that decision was made years ago, and now you're already on your path towards graduation. If there's ever question or concern about whether or not maybe it's the right fit for a student to either redo a grade, we have that conversation. It's more about what's the right fit for your individual students. So we do have a range of ages of students in each of our grades. But again, by the time families are looking at upper school, we'll try to work with you to figure out what makes the most sense for your student. Eva, you said you were raising your hand. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I would like to add something. So, for 10th grade, I'm pretty young. I just turned 15, and I know that it can be scary going into high school, but I was pretty scared because I was younger. But even if you are younger, a younger student, I think that the community is so welcoming. I felt really great, and I didn't really feel like there was a big age gap. I felt really connected with the community. So I think that even if you are younger or even if you're older, I think that it's a good fit no matter what.
Yeah, it's really
I second that
the right
because
fit.
I second that because I have not turned 15 yet as a 10th grader. And yeah, the age gap doesn't really affect a lot of the community.
Mhm.
Thank you for adding that. We have a question here that I will just answer in case other people are wondering this. Somebody asked if we have rhythmic gymnastics as one of our sport offerings. I can say that as of right now, we do not. However, I will say that that doesn't mean it is impossible. A lot of our sport opportunities, whether it be a club sport or a varsity sport, have been new in the handful of years, and oftentimes it's driven by student interest. So we just recently added a figure skating club, synchronized swimming, um, uh, ultimate frisbee are just some of the ones that were added later. So just because we don't have it doesn't mean that we could never have it. But currently we do not have rhythmic gymnastics. We have another question here about this one will be a quicker answer. I'll have you guys they asked how many upper schoolers take the shuttle for transportation. I'm assuming that they're referencing the shuttle over to Hopkins. I will say a lot of upper school students do it. Obviously, more of them are freshmen and sophomores who are not yet driving. However, I also know of lots of situations where underclassmen, if they need to get to Hopkins for sports reasons, upperclassmen are really good about giving them rides as well. And also, just so people have a more fuller picture of transportation here at Blake, transportation in the morning and after school, whether it be to home or a community shuttle stop, there is an additional cost for that. However, if it is the shuttle to get students from our upper school over to Hopkins, there is not a cost for that because so many of our upper school students do need to get there after school. So that is something that the buses just sit out front and students can hop on if they need a ride. We do have a question here that all three of you could speak to, so I'll let you kind of decide what you want to add to it. They were asking about how we transition and welcome new students to our upper school. I'll tell them sort of from the admissions perspective, we do offer some new student social events in the spring. So in the late spring, if you're a local family, we invite students to come to campus for an ice cream social with our current 8th graders. And then in August, we'll have an all 9th grade orientation, but maybe if the three of you sort of want to talk about what your experience was specifically transitioning new in 9th grade.
For me, I know that there was another kid coming from my school to Blake, and it was scary because I didn't really know anyone, but there was the ice cream social and I met a bunch of people there, and that was really nice. And then I also decided to join volleyball, and it was really good having a sport because you get to know the people on the team, and the people on the team are my close friends now. And so I think that joining a sport in the fall season is a great way to meet new people. And I think that there are lots of opportunities, especially in classes. There's definitely smaller, so you're able to connect with people much easier than if they were a larger class. So I think that joining a sport is good, and also the admissions team, they make a bunch of optional, I guess, events that you could go to, and they're really good as well.
For the host family part of that question, I know that there is a program where like my mom was connected with a family moving from California, and they just chat over the phone about Blake and Minnesota and those types of things. So there's that, but there's only host families for students who come abroad. Like last year we had students come from Guatemala, So they stayed with my friend's family actually. Yeah. And also going back to for welcoming new students, I agree with Eva. Basically, if you just join many clubs and participate in other things, it's an easier way to meet new students. But generally, when I joined Blake, people were very welcoming and really kind to me, so it was not hard to make friends.
I'll add too that at the beginning of the school year, just a couple weeks in, our upper school does host a club fair. So students have the opportunity to go to a outdoor space, and then all the clubs that are represented there. So students can hear about all the different clubs as freshmen and as new to Blake upper schoolers, and then have opportunity to choose what they might be interested in through our club fair. As long as we're talking about transitioning, I'm going to ask you, Zoe, to talk. This person or Annika, they are asking about actually not just coming new to Blake, but also transitioning new to Minnesota, and sort of just what your experience was adjusting to a new upper school and moving from a pretty different place to Minnesota all at the same time.
I can go first. So I was actually born in California and I moved to New York when I was 8. So I already had an idea of what transitioning from one state to another state was like. But it was still different from my experience from moving to New York to Minnesota. Mainly because it was entering high school, and at Blake, all the 8th graders going to high school from having been at Blake came from another campus and a whole other sort of experience of Blake. So it really did feel like I was transitioning with them because they were learning new things as well as me learning new things. And yeah, I think especially just moving from new states, the main thing I've noticed is that the weather is the most different part of it. Um, but yeah, I think transitioning from another place is not that difficult of a transition, mainly because a lot of new students actually come from different parts of the United States and different parts of the world, actually. I was surprised that so many people were not native to Minnesota. Yeah.
Zoe, did you want to add anything?
Sure. So when I moved from Australia, like moving halfway across the globe was definitely not easy. But after, we moved into our new house and we got adjusted, it was a fairly easy transition. The hardest part for me to get adjusted to was the winter, actually. So that was a little difficult. But other than that, there's so many cool aspects about Minneapolis and Blake that were just so welcoming and reminded me of home. So I would say moving is always hard, but eventually it gets easier.
Thank you both. Does anybody want to talk about, so some of you have freshman and sophomore year experiences. Zoe, you have freshman, sophomore, junior year experiences, about the electives and sort of how many classes or which types of classes you get some choice in upper school?
Sure, I can answer this. So freshman year, you don't have any electives. They used to have ancient and modern for English and history, but now they've combined the courses, which I think is a really good idea because then they cover more of the same topics. Sophomore year, you have to take health as an elective. And, oh, I forgot to say, freshman year, you actually do have art electives. So there's drawing, painting, printmaking, orchestra, band, debate, and theater, I believe. Sophomore year, you have the same art electives, but you also have the option to take honors chemistry or regular chemistry. And then junior year, you have the option to take a variety of sciences. Typically, juniors take physics or honors physics, but some of my friends are taking AP Chem and genetics and a bunch of other science electives. You also have the choice for English. There's reconciliation, wilderness, Visions of Realism, and one more that I can't remember. And then senior year, you also have English electives, science electives, and art electives.
I know that for the math aspect of the school, I know that when I first joined Blake last year, there were a lot of kids in my grade who were in like calculus and like pre-calc and like some classes I don't even remember. So I'm pretty sure that for the math, you can just I believe you're tested into what you're good at and um what your strengths are, and I guess that they will accommodate you there. So I think that the math aspect of it is it's kind of you can go wherever they see fit.
So yes, to Eva's point, we do new student placement testing for math. Of course, there are still going to be requirements for graduation that you meet certain requirements of certain courses. But unlike maybe English and social studies or science in 9th and 10th grade, it's not predetermined for you what you're taking. It's more about getting the right fit. And then I also want to add, obviously, another place where students have choice in the upper school is around languages. So students can choose between Spanish, Chinese, French, and Latin. Um, and then based on that student's experience for new students, we work with you if you're taking a language that you have previous experience in. So whether you have language personally in your family or in your home, whether you're coming from an immersion school or whether you were once in immersion school, we'll do a full assessment with each student, again, if they're taking a language that they have previous experience in. But that's another place where some student choice comes into play. This is a question we get often. We have a student here who's asking about homework and sort of, I know a lot of people worry that is it too much? Is it just right? How do you navigate it when Blake students are also involved in lots of other things? So just sort of talk about how homework has been and maybe sort of what you thought, what your experience is, and how that was with you in your transition.
For me, I came from a Montessori school. I came from Lake Country School, and the workload there is a lot. And I would say it's about the same, or maybe less than the Blake homework load is less than what I previously had. So it's an average amount of homework, I'd say. I think people are worried about how much there is. It's more about the difficulty, I think, and how you get through it and strategies you have to get through it. So I think that if you are in a sport maybe or have clubs or other commitments, I guess, that it might be a little bit more difficult because you have other things that you would like to do instead of doing your homework. But I think that you're able to manage it well and still get a good night's rest. And then you also have time in school to do it. So there's a lot of time overall to be able to get your homework done.
What I found a lot of people struggled with in freshman year was the reading load for classes such as social studies, since we do have, I would say, quite a bit of reading, especially for English and social studies. And what I find is helpful is that, yes, there's time during school to do the reading, and for other classes such as math or science, the difficulty is normally manageable, as well as the workload. And the teachers encourage you to ask them questions if you have any questions about homework. And they also encourage you to be vocal about if you think that you have too much work, if you're too overwhelmed. They are right there ready to assist you in any way that they can.
Zoe, anything you want to add to the homework question?
I think the amount of homework varies depending on each class and each year. Like freshman year, my old school didn't really give me much homework, so I was a little overwhelmed in the start. But then once I understood how to organize my time and allocate like which was most important, then I feel like it's an average amount of homework. But junior year has been a little bit more overwhelming compared to sophomore year. So yeah, just depending on the grade, depends on the homework.
Absolutely. I would agree. I would echo that as a parent of upper school student. It depends on the grade, and it also can depend on your individual course load. So for some students, of course, it's the better fit for them to take some higher level or AP courses. So of course, there's going to be more work in those classes. But again, the school's working with the students and families to make sure that when they're choosing those classes, that it's not just about can they handle the individual lessons, but knowing that an AP course means extra work, can they handle the extra work as well? So it can certainly vary. But again, as a parent of two students, one who's been through the upper school, one who's there, it's really about the school does recognize that our students are involved in lots of things. So I've had students, again, personally, and I've watched students who participate in lots of different ways in Blake, and they're able to balance it all. And to her point, faculty do want to hear if at any point it's just not going to work for you. You have a debate competition or a sports event or something that's running late or something that you got added to your calendar that you didn't know about. If you connect with teachers and are transparent and communicate with them, they're certainly willing to work with you. So we have 3 questions here about the admissions process. So I want to sort of answer them in partnership. So somebody's asking about how many kids apply and then the admissions decision. And so I can tell you up 9th grade is what we consider an entry point. So as I believe have mentioned here, we have about 25 to 30 new students that join our school in 9th grade. For those 25 to 30 new students, we can have upwards of 80 to 90 applications. I would say more average 70 to 80 applications for those spots. When you're asking about, somebody here has asked about the admissions decisions and financial assistance decisions and how that intersects in the process and timeline. Families apply for admission and in parallel apply for financial assistance. The committee that reviews all of the admissions applications does not know, and the financial assistance piece is not part of those conversations. So when we're reviewing applications, we have a diverse representation of faculty and administration in partnership with admissions, making those decisions. And then later down the road, once we have the students who we think would be wonderful additions to the school, then the financial assistance can come into play. Of course, while we have a great and robust financial assistance budget, we are limited. And so there are definitely students who sometimes need financial assistance who we can't take just because we can't fund them. But we do work with students and parents to make sure that we're making the best decisions. People are asking about how they learn about particular sports through the admissions process. And honestly, that is just something that would be done right through me. So you can contact me directly and I will connect you with our athletics department and or a specific sports coach, and they will connect with you to have personal conversations about their program and your student's place within that program. So it looks like our questions have sort of wrapped up at this point. I appreciate our 3 panelists' open and honest answers to their questions. I do want to take just a second to go over some next steps with each of you before we depart. So through your portal, where you may have gone to register for this event, I will remind you that we do have our large virtual open house on Saturday. I would encourage you to attend that. You'll have a chance to hear from a wide variety of different Blake employees within each department. Administration, parents will have another student panel. So that's an opportunity for you. And then as many schools are in this position, we are not able to offer our more traditional student visit day as part of the application process this year. So our only in-person on-campus experience that we offer this year is a tour. So I do encourage you to consider registering for a tour. We will have you and your student come to campus and we'll be able to see the space during a school day. And nothing can share the story of Blake like it can when you can see it in person. It's just it's a different view, and it can be really helpful for students to help get some more of their questions answered and just get a feel of Blake. So as far as timeline, the application can be submitted at any point. It's open and ready for you to submit right now. You do have until January 31st though. So we would want you to get that submitted by the end of January. The financial assistance application is also due January 31st. And then families have really through February to get all of the various pieces wrapped up. And then to really round out the admissions process, it is April 1st where we notify families of decisions, and families then have 2 weeks to make their decision. So it's really the middle of April before we know who our new students are going to be. And then as our students have talked about and I have talked about, then we will begin to offer some new student events. We'll do new student placement testing for math and languages. So lots of time to get to know us and for us to get to know you. Before we go, it looks like we do have a question here. If a current 9th grader is going to apply for 10th grade, is the SAP exam. So asking about testing and grades. So as part of the admissions process, our preference is always going to be the SSAT. And this year that is being offered virtually. So students have the opportunity to just take it from home. It is proctored, so you do have to register and sign up ahead of time. But Saturdays are your options for that. And then we do take current GPA into consideration. It's not really so much GPA, but we do as part of the application process, request teacher recommendations and transcripts. And that's just because we like to take a holistic view of our applicants. So beyond just our chances to meet with the student and family, we want to know a little bit more about them from their current school, from their current teachers, who they are as an individual of their community and who they are as a learner. So those are pieces that are going to be part of the application process. And more of that can be found through your admissions portal. There is a checklist there for you to follow along through the application process. So with that, again, thank you all for joining us, and thank you to our 3 student panelists. And I hope to see you at another event sometime soon.